I thought I'd be poor forever. I didn't really say it out loud, but I believed it. There are people that just stay poor, and I was probably one of them. I never earned much money, and the future never crossed my mind. I kind of figured I just wouldn't live long enough for it to be worth planning for. But recently, I looked at my bank account, and for the first time in my life, I saw that I have £5,000 in savings. The thing is, I could have done this years ago. The best time to start saving was back then, but the second best time is now. In this video, I want to talk about how I started taking my money seriously, how I did it, and how I went from someone who always had zero in my bank account to someone who has now saved over £5,000. I know it doesn't sound like much to some, but to me, it's a big win. My lowest point financially wasn't one dramatic moment. It was just how I lived for most of my life. Most of my years I have had hardly anything in my bank account. I would just scrape by rent each month, and the thought of having savings never even crossed my mind because it just felt impossible. I didn't worry about it though because I thought my future wasn't coming. I genuinely believed that I'd die before I got old. Living with an inflammatory bowel disease in flare convinced me that the future was closing in fast. So saving or planning, it didn't really feel like something that I had to worry about. But now, I'm 32 years old. Nothing's finished me off just yet. And now I feel the choices that I made in my 20s are catching up with me. Those choices don't just disappear, they accumulate over time. There was one month where it didn't look like I was going to be able to cover my month's rent. So I dug out this old Yorkshire Building Society savings account that I'd been gifted as a child. It had about £300 in it, and I'd had it for as long as I can remember. It was probably given to me by my parents with some kind of hope behind it, like it was a little start for the future. But I pulled that money out just to cover the rent. It felt like I had wasted it. This small bit of savings that had survived all those years, gone in one go. It honestly felt like that I had failed in that moment. My financial life changed when I came across a YouTube channel called Financial Audit. On that channel, the presenter, Caleb, looks through other people's financial lives and finds out where they spend all their money, where they go wrong, and what they could be doing better. I started watching it out of entertainment, but I quickly started taking notes. I noticed loads of ways that I could improve my own financial life, and watching that show felt like it opened up a whole new world to me. And I found it really exciting. I was always frugal because I never had much money, but I had never actually taken account of my finances. Once I took the time to sit down and look through what I actually spent each month, I realised I was spending more than I earned every single month. That was the moment when I knew I had to make the changes that I had been learning from watching Financial Audit. So I took audit of my own life. I wrote down how much was coming in, how much was coming out, anything that I owed, what amounts that I could actually save, and I started putting aside a small amount every month. I stopped ordering food and started cooking at home. When I went to work, I used to grab a meal deal before every shift, just so I wasn't hungry while I was there. That was costing me at least £15 a week, but probably more. These days I cook and eat before I go to work, and then I take some fruit with me to eat while I'm there. It costs me less, makes me feel better, and it actually saves me money. Month by month, these small actions have helped, and my savings slowly climbed. So let's break down what I actually learned through this process. The first thing that I learned is to take audit of your life. This is probably the most important step. Actually look at the numbers. You can't fix what you don't know. The second thing is don't touch your savings. You can use it if it's a real emergency. But if you keep dipping into your savings, it defeats the point and you'll quickly run out. Number 3 is to keep money in your current account too. Treat this as your spending money, because if you don't allocate yourself some spending money, you'll end up dipping into your savings. Number 4 is to eat at home. Even those small purchases like meal deals were stacking up fast for me. And the bonus is, it's also healthier. So not only are you saving money, but you're saving your health. Number 5 is to stick to the plan. £50 a month may sound small, but over time it begins to build. The momentum that it brings matters much more than the actual amount. Number 6 is to raise your mental floor. When I first hit £1,000 in my account, I decided I would treat this as the new zero. That made it easier for me to not overspend because I didn't want to dip back down below £1,000. Number 7 is to save with a purpose. I currently split my money across a variety of savings accounts. Each one has a different meaning behind it. One is my emergency savings. One is my long-term savings. And the idea behind that is I don't touch it for 30 years. And another is my money that I am allowed to spend now. I also talked to my wife about this and we made this plan together and we are both working to the same plan. Number 8 is my fear of having a credit card has actually helped me. I hate the feeling of owing people money, and if I can't afford something, I just don't buy it. That fear has probably saved me from digging a really deep hole of debt that I see other people dig. When I saw that £5,000 in my account, it didn't actually surprise me, and this is because I had been saving every month, following the system that I had set myself up with. It just became part of my life. And I didn't think about it, I just did it. The decision was already made. I was just following the plan. When I saw that money, I didn't feel like celebrating because my thoughts went straight to the next goalpost. Let's save 10k next. This is when I knew that something had fundamentally changed within me. It wasn't just a passing phase or an obsession. It was now just part of who I am. I never thought about rich people much because that wasn't my world. Even today, £20,000 a year sounds like a lot to me, even though statistically it's actually not that much money, but it's more than I've earned, so it still sounds impressive to me, and I wasn't walking around angry thinking the world owed me something. It just felt like that kind of money was off the table for me, like it wasn't part of my life, so I didn't have to think about it. I never made plans for money, I just assumed that this is how things are, and always will be. These days, I do let myself buy a meal out here and there, and I don't beat myself up over it, because I'm not scared I won't be able to financially recover from it. Because I've spent most of my life with hardly anything in my bank account, I still have that frugal mindset today. I don't spend out on much, but I'm not scared anymore, because I know that there is something in my bank account in case of an emergency. I don't save money out of ambition, it's actually out of fear. I've seen what happens to people who ignore their money forever. No pension, no savings, can't afford basic things, and I find it terrifying to think about. That outcome was destined to be my future if I took no action. And that's why I care so much about it now that I'm in my 30s. Even though my income is small, I try to make it count, because I don't want to hit 60 and realise that I left it too late. If you're where I was, broke, feeling behind, and not sure where to begin, it's not too late. You just need to start. I never really thought that I would save anything, but all it took was a series of small actions done consistently, and the decision to stop giving up on myself. Every pound that I save now is proof that I'm more capable than I once thought. And that feeling? That's worth more than money itself. And if you'd like to hear more about the mistakes that I made with my money, then click this video here. Learn from my mistakes. Thanks for listening.